a little bit more life in it, and
even though
it's so dry right now, like in other parts of the year, it's doing pretty good because it's got lots of water and it's growing like crazy. So it's kind of in that middle area. If it was a little drier, you could probably call it a desert. A lot fewer things would survive here. We've got cactus here. What do you think of cactus normally being in? Desert, yeah. So in order for cactus to not get out competed, it's got to be a pretty dry area for sure.
It's also, there's a lot of chaparral in LA.
Yeah, definitely. So if you look at this grass here, is that a waste?
The fires.
Why not?
Because it fuels the fires when you have them.
No.
It'll burn in a fire, definitely. The fires don't happen very often, though.
But other animals would probably
it decomposes, dies, and lets the nutrients back in the soil.
So it decomposes, the nutrients back in the soil. Sitting there right now, is it doing anybody any good?
It's leaking your packers. It's just left over from the last one.
What about squirrels and birds? Do you think they might take advantage of it?
Make
Eat
nests.
it, maybe.
Yeah, maybe make nests, a little insulation for their
eat that,
nest.
maybe?
Extra
Or-
comfy. Not so much. Pretty much all the nutrients got sucked back down to the bottom. But also, if you were a little insect and there was a bird flying over that might want to eat you,
So
I think it'd be harder to see. Exactly.
Yeah.
We're lucky.
Depending on the color of what they are, yeah.
Yeah.
If they're bright red, you're gonna stand out quite a bit.
Naturally.
Oh,
But like that tuft of grass right over there, you could probably hide behind that, right? Even if you were red. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna abandon our wonderful shade here and head a little farther out. So follow me, guys.
Get up, everyone on your feet. David,
What other countries have chaparral?
that's a very good question. We can
Italy,
research-
I think.
We can
Or
research that when we
Or Greece.
get back to school. But that was a very good question, David.
I like chaparral and I don't like it at the same time.
All right.
So David, if you were to look up arid climates, so the word arid, A-R-I-D, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Look up arid climates, and you'd find a place like the Mediterranean, Italy, are arid climates. Places like that are similar. Chaparral is this specific one. So here on the Pacific coast, we've got areas that are in arid, sort of are an arid climate, and the particular community group, species that are here, we call that the chaparral.
Yeah, I know. I forgot the word.
There's no trees in this place.
Trees? Well, there's some trees, but trees require a lot of moisture to survive. And like Morgan was telling us, for the past 2 months plus, he's experienced 5 minutes of rain. Only 5 minutes of rain in the past 2 months. So that really isn't that isn't enough water for trees to survive. So the trees that are here have to have very extensive root systems to collect as much water they can from the soil. So they have to be the fittest of the fit trees to survive here. Otherwise, they won't even bother to start to grow.
Just when vehicles come.
But if you're to travel further up the coast here in California, you'd run into some massive forests. Very thick of trees, and actually very tall trees, like the redwood trees are in Northern California, and they're the tallest trees in the world.
Yeah, they have to be really tall because the one next to them is tall and they want to get more sunlight than the next.
That's an excellent observation about trees.
The biggest one I saw was this one tree that was 600 years old.
600 years old, wow.
In Korea, if you go to the countryside, there's trees that are hundreds of years old.
I can imagine. We have some of those here too. We actually have...
I think it was, if you include the roots, it was this wide.
Really?
If you include the roots and the branches.
Well, actually, in California, we have the tallest trees in the world, and I think we also have some of the oldest trees in the world called Joshua trees.
Oh.
Joshua trees actually can live to be over 1,000. I think the oldest one they've discovered is 2,000 years old.
That's
What's that?
A 2,000-year-old tree.
That's called sedimentary rock.
No, that.
Just the sage?
Yeah.
I believe it's a sage.
Yeah, that's the stuff we see in California all the
Yep.
time. Right?
But we need to stick up here with Morgan. It's a very good question, David.
You know what those giant patches of grass and bushes are?
They're probably taco trees.
I don't know, but we can definitely research. Maybe we can ask Morgan. That's what he's here for.
What's that? Is that a taco tree?
I don't think that is a taco tree, but...
I think it is.
Is it?
So this place is
It might
called
be.
Emerald Bay. Do you guys have any idea why?
Because it looks like an emerald.
Exactly.
It's pretty.
They have some different rocks down here that wear off a little bit different colored sand. It's a little bit brighter, a little more reflective. And
Is that a taco tree?
And then it's also, one moment, it's also, notice how far out it says shallow? So you have this whole bay compared to Helen's where you only have a little bit of visible sand from here.
Did you say Helen's or?
Helen's. Helen's. I'm from the northwest, so I mumble, sorry. But if you look out here, see how shallow it stays all the way out to Indian
Wasn't
Rock?
it such a kind of a green in the water kind of?
Yeah, so you see,
My dad
you
said
see all
if
that
you go
emerald
to the
color
point
there,
where
so
the
they
And
call
the
it
water
emerald
water
bay.
turns very dark blue, then
It's a little bit
you'll be
more green here.
washed
the green
away.
plants.
Well, I
Why do you
definitely
guys
wouldn't
think
swim out
the
that far
kelp
to yeah.
only grows out to there?
Because that's where it's
That's
deep.
Where? There?
Hey, you see where the kelp's growing?
You'll wash
Sunlight
away
is
and
stopped,
you'll never
son.
be seen again.
Probably,
It's not the
yeah.
sun.
But we stay shallow here, so if
What
you're
is- what
if you're
does
afraid of
kelp
getting
need to grow
swept
on?
away, you don't have to worry about that.
Ground?
So if you really
Nutrient.
would enjoy
Not
swimming, I
sand,
think,
it needs something more.
because we just stay in the
It needs
shallow.
really
See where
more
it's green? You can
solid
you
sand
can
to
see the
hold on
bottom
to.
here.
Rocks.
I mean, you could actually
Rocks, yeah.
swim down to that.
So you
It's probably
only
about
have
10 or
rocks
15
staying
feet deep,
closer, and out,
about the same
out
depth
there's
as
no
most
sea
swimming pools.
rocks.
There's still some couple I
Washed
see
away.
kind of
I
see
saw
where
it in
it looks
this
kind of
car.
like bumps kind of in
What
the
was that?
water.
I saw
Yep.
it in a
It
car.
sticks out a little bit
really
further
deep,
than what I'm
though.
seeing.
Why-
Yeah,
when
so
I was
there's
going
some,
to
some
this
rock
place.
area
Oh.
out
It
there.
was not my
But
friend's
there's
car.
not a
somebody
lot
else's.
of,
Oh, yeah.
kelp anywhere
Actually,
else.
there's some